right? And the what if train keeps on rolling, have and have not fans. I've actually seen this comment on several of my more recent videos, and I felt that since the fan base wanted it, I'm going to do this what if. I wanted to give it a couple of days after I saw the comments to actually kind of marinate on the subject. But wow. I guess I really couldn't sit by any longer because enough people have commented on it already. If my mind comes up with more ideas, I might do a part 2. But the question on this video that I want to answer in the best way I can is, what if Erica got pregnant by David? Part of me feels like I already did a video on this, but I'm not 100% sure. So for the sake of, memory, let's just kind of start from the beginning. If Erica got pregnant by David, I'm going to be completely honest here. I feel like this can go either one of two ways. Number one, this could be something that Candace will use to her advantage to have Erica take David for all he has. The reason being is because, Veronica told Candace to tell Erica about the whole, David being spooked. There's like one little thing out of place. He has like a black light and all these security measures. But to be honest, I feel like that's number one. He was married to Veronica for like 20 plus years. And she's a kind of person that pushed him to that level. I mean, some people are naturally cautious and suspicious, but when you're dealing with somebody like Veronica Harrington, you're a little antsy because she loves to be in control. So who knows if she touches your bank books or stuff like that when you're not around. And also look at the fact that David, in my mind, will not do that kind of thing to Erica because of two reasons. Number one, look at the fact that he let her move in without even knowing her that well. I mean, I don't even think those two have known each other more than a week at best. And you know how the haves and have not timeline is so stretched out where like 2 seasons isn't even a week. So you look at that, and also the fact that it seemed like he might have been quick to jump into Erica. Sorry, I meant to word that differently. He was quick to jump. Well, gosh, I'm trying to make this not sound like an innuendo, but he was so quick to trust Erica. Yeah, there we go. I feel like one reason he was so quick to welcome her into his life is because of all the craziness that Veronica put him through, especially after the whole Maggie Day being killed thing, and then her rubbing it in his face as in, hey, I had something to do with this. It makes sense as to why he'd be so quick to, trust this person that he doesn't even know. But even then, it's kind of like, well, maybe Veronica turned out to be somebody who you didn't really think she was. I mean, David even pointed out that you've always been controlling and whatnot, but you've never been this cold-hearted and whatnot. So really it's a matter of Veronica turning into somebody that even David has seen Veronica at her worst, but this is a new level that he wasn't even aware that she was capable of. So why would you be so trusting to a woman you don't even know, despite not knowing what she is truly capable of? So it seems like David has been written to be a complete idiot in some scenes. So I don't know, but really I don't think that David would go through the extreme security measures with Erica that he went through with Veronica. I think that's clear as day due to the fact that he so easily trusted her to live with him, gave her the credit card, which she only spent what, $200 or $300 on clothes. So I feel like David is definitely giving a lot of lenience to Erica that he didn't do with Veronica. It's kind of like parents and their kids. Like the firstborn child, there are a lot of rules and regulations in place, but then the second child, third child, they're more lenient in terms of how strict they are. So I feel like the same thing is in line with David. That's just my opinion. Now, when it comes to the actual using the pregnancy to the advantage of taking David for everything he's got, that David, being the man he is, would coddle Erica, treat her like a queen, rub her feet when they get swollen, pretty much cater to her. But that is even crazier because we all know that she's there to take him for everything he's got. Because at this point, Candace is like, okay, lay low, don't do anything, just stay where you are. So really, Erica is kind of like a caterpillar in a cocoon, just kind of waiting until the right time to hatch, which is actually appropriate due to the whole what if about her having a baby. I feel like when it comes down to it, the baby is definitely going to be insurance as to whether or not, you know, things don't work out and she gets busted. She can use the baby and hold that over his head. Candace could get wind of it and then use that to their advantage as well. Who knows? But then we get to the flip side of this what if. I feel like if Erica does get pregnant by David, she's going to die. I mean, I'm going to be honest here. I feel like she would die. I was going to do a separate video on this. I might, depending on how many comments actually relate to this subject, but I've actually mentioned it several times before. And it has to do with Maggie Day and whether or not she was actually pregnant from that one night stand that she had with David. Remember, that's when David went to see Veronica at the jail, said, I'm not going to release you right now because it's not safe. But instead of going into details of, yeah, I think Jim has a hitman waiting on you at your house, he just didn't say anything. And then Veronica just assumed that the reason you're not getting me out of jail is because you want to be with Maggie. At that point, David has had enough. He leaves, he goes back to the hotel, and that's, you know, that's when him and Maggie get it on. And the next morning, or pretty much like whenever they will, I don't know, or right after they had sex, you know, that's when David and Maggie are laying in bed, and it's like, yeah, we're finalizing the divorce. And it's like, you don't have to be so gleeful about it. Oh, I know. And that's when he said, okay, can you please, let's not have a kid because I don't want any more children. And that's when he offered to go get Maggie the morning after pill. And then Maggie was like, no, I'll do it. And he's like, are you sure? Yeah, I'll take care of it. Then he actually gets wind of the newspaper and discovers that Maggie was the one that put the picture of Veronica, Benny on the front page, and then made it look like Veronica and Jim had some kind of conspiracy going on behind the scenes. That's why David and Catherine went down with the boat. But that's how David was able to get free, because Maggie pretty much freed David by throwing his wife and Jim in the mud. That's what pissed David off. And after that, he didn't want to have anything to do with Maggie Day. He literally told her off and then left. And then I remember the next, if I'm not mistaken, the only other scene of those two together was when they're at the campaign office. And who was it? That was when Benny showed up. That's after Benny and Mitch lost business because David told Oscar to screw up the phones, or excuse me, divert the phone calls to Benny's towing to all these other tow companies in the area, so they got no phone calls whatsoever. And then, you know, I think David was in the office and he walked in the middle of a conversation between Landon and Maggie. And that's when Landon was trying to make peace between the two. He's like, you have nothing to do with this. And basically it's, oh no, I shouldn't have done. Yeah, that's it. Maggie was crying about the whole newspaper thing. I shouldn't have done it. I don't know. And then David was like, no, you shouldn't have. And really, in my mind, I feel like if David, or if Maggie had lived on further, instead of being killed off, Maggie Day continued to live for maybe 1 or 2 more seasons. I think that Maggie never took the morning after pill just because she wanted to use the baby as insurance, because if she was pregnant by David, then David wouldn't ignore her. He wouldn't throw her away like trash. That's my theory. But the fact that there was never an autopsy or whatnot, I don't know what happened. But I feel like it was very likely that Maggie did not take the morning after pill because she saw how infuriated David was with her over the whole newspaper thing, that she had to find any means necessary to keep him in her life. That's just my theory. So then she gets killed off. That's why I feel that maybe, just maybe, if Erica gets pregnant and Veronica gets wind of this, she will have, even if she doesn't, I feel like at some point in time, Erica would be killed off and the baby would either be never born, never mentioned, completely forgotten. I mean, I feel like that's a interesting or irritating trend within the show. You have Amanda, who was allegedly pregnant by Professor Cannon. She got killed. There was no autopsy, or there was no indication of her being pregnant because we never got a word on the autopsy. You had Maggie Day, who I just, predicted may have been allegedly pregnant, killed off. That's the end of that. We don't know what happened about the morning after pill. Even further, let's say if Melissa her and Veronica go to the doctor. She's not pregnant. Allegedly, Veronica's going to take care of her in one way or another. So in that case, we wouldn't know that she was technically not pregnant. So if she got killed off, then she technically wouldn't be in this group of women who were potentially pregnant but killed off before we knew the results. So I guess Erica would technically be number 3. So those are just my thoughts on the whole scenario. I feel like if Erica is pregnant, David would just take care of her. But my question would be, what would David do if he found out the truth that Erica was actually going to con him this entire time? But I feel like if Erica knew the truth, I feel like if Erica knew that Veronica is in on this scheme as well, then maybe she can try to flip the story, because with David being against Veronica as he is now, I feel like if Erica, played her cards right, then she could definitely flip the script to make Veronica look like the enemy instead of her, and then live in the lap of luxury while the Ice Queen melts out in the sun. I feel like that could be possible. I honestly would like to see that, because that'll definitely give Erica some character development, as well as show her to be one of Candace's whores for a reason. Like, she's not all looks. She's definitely has a bad side as well. I mean, to see the Candace and her come out would definitely be something that would make her worthy of being on the show a little bit longer. But hey, those are just my thoughts on the scenario. I mean, if you want to throw another ball on the court, if you will, I want to see what will happen when her and Jim meet up, because the bigger question is, let's say if David gets her pregnant, he finds out, but then finds out that Erica was one of the whores or prostitutes that that Jim was involved with in the past. Oh my God. There are just so many ways this can go down, guys. But I feel like these what ifs are a good way of kind of bridging the gap between the hiatus to when the show returns. So if there are any more kind of what if scenarios, let me know in the comment section below, because I'd love to kind of read through the different scenarios you guys come up with. And if there's enough information that I can like either dig up or think of, I'll definitely do more of these in the future. So as always, feel free to subscribe, share this video around. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on if Erica got pregnant by David?